你哋英文班你哋可以刪咗鏡頭。多謝 ，thank you。阿玲姐，我幫你刪。Welcome everyone. Let us meditate for a minute or two. Okay, thanks again. First of all, let me apologize for last month. I forgot that there was a 48 hours requirement for setting up the video, so we managed not to live cast on Insight Timer. But in any case, we're very happy to have Venerable De Hong with us again. And in case you missed last month's presentation, it was on the second Noble Truth. And so you will need to catch up on either YouTube or Facebook. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Venerable De Hong, who I believe will start with the meditation, correct?
No, I start with the lecture first and then we
Oh,
meditate.
yes. Oh, I keep, sorry.
It's okay. Thank you. Greetings. So tonight, we will start with continuing with the third noble truth. And since the third noble truth is kind of short and brief, so I include a bit of discussion on what Buddhist psychology is, for those of you who are interested. The third noble truth, just a bit, but it's not that even though it's brief, however, to get to understand and to get to the point of elimination of suffering can take a lifetime. Just a warning. Anyway, so I want to start with Buddhist psychology to make it easier. So what is Buddhist psychology? If you look at the Western Buddhist psychology, they usually deal with the symptoms or the illnesses or the disease. And with Western psychology, there are at least two types. One is counseling, and the other is clinical. Counseling means that the psychologist or therapist will listen and perhaps provide suggestions. On the other hand, with clinical psychology, the psychologist or the therapist are able to write prescriptions for the clients or patients. And eventually, we keep talking about psychiatrists, psychotherapists. They go deeper into different fields, and that's where it is. I like to stop right there because I'm not an expert in any of those. But in terms of Buddhist psychology, we deal with the mind and basically, we study the Buddha's teaching, we meditate, and we apply the Buddha's teaching into the issue that we faced, the experiences that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So here, the first definition is Buddhist psychology can be described as a science of the mind, is practical, experiential, and the purpose is to lead to the best of human possibilities, to bring healing, well-being, inner freedom, no matter what the changing circumstances of life might be. And this definition is by Jack Cornfield. And Pradeep Chakravarth, he defines Buddhist psychology as the central aspect of a manifold philosophical, psychological, and spiritual tradition of thought and practice that was developed by the Buddha. And Buddhist psychology is concerned with the alleviation of suffering, stress, dissatisfaction through contemplative practices and application of the Buddha's teachings. That's what Buddhist psychology is. And it examines the foundation of our psychological functioning, our sense of who we are, and our relationship with others in the world that we live in. Here, I just want to elaborate a little bit, is that with Buddhist psychology, we question how the suffering that we go through, be it the mental stress or the psychological stress or physical illness, and we, of course, that those issues, will give rise to fear, anxieties, other related mental afflictions. And we need to learn and how to apply the Buddha's teaching to deal with all of these mental afflictions. And also in terms of our relationship with family, with friends, with a spouse, with co-workers, the field of Buddhist psychology can also help with that. And that, all of these issues come from the First Noble Truth that we talked about in January of this year. So here is my understanding, is that the field of Buddhist psychology does not involve any ritual, bowing, burning incense, or offering fruits or flowers to the Buddha, or you don't even need to have the Buddha statue. It basically consists of studying, understanding the Buddha's teaching, meditating or contemplating, and apply his teaching to possibly minimize or eliminate one's suffering or stress. And I want to introduce some of the modern therapists who have experience in Buddhist psychology. You guys probably have heard of John Kabat-Zinn, who is basically the founder of the MBSR program since 1970. MBSR stands for Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. Then you have Dr. Dan Siegel, Dr. Tara Brach, Dr. Jack Cornfield, Dr. Mark Epstein, Dr. David Zuniga, and Dr. Flynn Sparks. The last two therapists, they came from the Zen tradition. I also found this discussion, if you look at the slide right here, from positivepsychology.com, that explains Zen, what Zen therapy is. What it is psychotherapy that is informed by and incorporates the philosophy and practices of Zen Buddhism and that is concerned with the unique meaning of the client's life within the universal context, rather than with simple adjustment to or removal of symptoms. I just want to clarify the word Zen. Zen in Japanese means meditation in English. It's like the word Chang in Japanese, basically because Japanese or Zen Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism came from, that was brought from China. So the word Chang literally translates into the word Zen in Japanese. And then in Vietnamese, it's Tien, Tien. In Korean, is Song, Seon. All these words, what they mean is just means meditation in general. It does not mean mindfulness meditation or any form of meditation. It just means meditation. So it depends. I'm not quite sure on this article if they apply or use any form of meditation by the therapist. That I don't know, and I apologized. But here the article went on to explain the differences between CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, to psychodynamic therapy and Zen therapy. So, with so I'm going to focus on Zen therapy. It deals with the present moment, the focused. In terms of the duration, basically to deal with the issues from the Zen therapy perspective, is a long-term and ongoing way of life, because as humans, as we have to work, as we have relationships, we are going to struggle no matter who we are, no matter what status um, we have, what kind of jobs we have, or even in terms of wealth, we still have to deal with issues. In terms of structure, meaning providing therapy, Zen therapy is pretty loosely structured. It does not have like a step by step, it does not. And in terms of dealing with the mind, um, Zen therapy, according to the article here, it has to do with the radical transformation of consciousness. It basically goes into the mind and the issues that are going on in the conscious mind as well as the unconscious mind. Some of the example that deals that for treatment. Zen therapy can deal with borderline personality disorder, general suffering, life dissatisfaction, and directionlessness. That is how Zen therapy can help. In terms of beliefs and cognition and thoughts, Zen therapy can help reduce cognition to just one form of mental activity, the mode of knowing, and puts client in touch with a heart-based mode of knowledge by basically direct the client or the patient on what to focus on, thought, on the ability to recognize thoughts, feelings, and also how to process them. In terms of emotions, Zen therapy helps clients discover a form of positive effect arising from a balanced mind and accessible in spite of challenging external stimuli. And that can also come from the practice of mindfulness of feelings, knowing the differences between the different types of feelings and how feelings give rise to emotions. In terms of behavior, Zen therapy teaches clients to act attentively, basically mindfully, with positive or wholesome intention, that motivate by skillfulness instead of attachment. And the last slide on this is that through how to intervene, right, with when someone with issues is through meditation, through radical acceptance, through mindfulness, and there's another type of therapy is called internal family systems, and that is the from what I just discussed with you guys is um, the what Zen therapy can do from the Buddhist psychology perspective. So now let me take a couple deep breaths and we transition to the Third Noble Truth. And to begin with the Third Noble Truth, just a quick review of the Second Noble Truth that we discussed last month. Basically, we experience stress or dissatisfaction of life or relationship because we crave or cling to pleasant experiences or relationships, and we reject, deny, or suppress unpleasant experiences. And because of that, we have stressed. We are in distress. And also, another thing that I touched on last month is that craving can also be applied to the various forms of addiction as well. So that was the second noble truth. So the third noble truth is that according to the Buddha, is what is the cessation, the noble truth of the cessation of stress or suffering. Is basically what it is the remainderless fading and cessation, renunciation, relinquishment, release, and letting go of that very craving. It sounds simple, but it's not as simple. It basically means that when we recognize that we crave or cling, and because of that, we suffer. So how do we not suffer? Is to let go of that craving or the clinging, to release them. Any form, any type of craving, be it craving for sensual pleasure through our five senses, or clinging to certain belief or certain roles, certain individuals, we need to learn to let go, and from that's how our stress ceases. This is another talk of that the Buddha defined the third noble truth. We learn to instead of craving, we learn to let go, to reject it, because craving and clinging lead to suffering and stress, and that we learn to abandon it, that allow the craving or the clinging to cease a bit, and so we need to learn how to have the passion in terms of our craving. So here the Buddha basically said among the qualities there may be fabricated, unfabricated, the qualities of this passion, the subduing of intoxication, elimination of thirst, uprooting attachment, breaking of the round, the destruction of craving is, and the realization of unbinding is considered supreme. That is how we achieve, how we become free of suffering. And from that we are able to achieve peace and end of craving, cessation, and binding. So I want to share with a few minutes left. I want to share with some writing by Ajahn Sumedho in the book The Four Noble Truths. This book is the PDF of it is free that you can find online. If you can't find it, let me know. I can send you the link or the file. So in order for us to end or let go or abandon our craving and clinging is that we need to have insights. And insights only come from meditation. And here, I would say mindfulness meditation, since this is what I have learned and what we are covering. We need to learn to realize that everything that is subject to arising is subject to ceasing, meaning everything that is being born is subject to death or destroy or disappear. Because everything is impermanent. There's nothing absolute about the things that we are exposed to, be it things, humans, animals, insects, be it relationship, everything. And from that, and this is what Ajahn Sumedho called profound understanding, but it takes time and practice for us to come to that. And he also said we need to realize that all sensual pleasures are mortal pleasures. Sound, sight, smell, taste, touch, and ideas, they are mortal. They don't last. When we attach to any of this, we will be disappointed or stressed out. He also suggests that we explain that we need to recognize that a sensual desire as it is without grasping, and just so that that sensual desire will cease. That is the third noble truth. So how do we know or allow all the desire? I miss a verb here. How do we know, allow all the desire to rise and cease? And it's through mindfulness meditation, is to meditate on this issue, our craving, our desire. We need to meditate on it. And when we meditate, we develop new habit, which creates new positive karma. Again, this takes time, patience, and practice. And a bit of the according to Ajahn Sumedho, what is cessation? Is the natural ending of any condition that has arisen. It doesn't come about from a sense of I have to get rid of it. It ends naturally when we have insight, when we recognize that, when we learn about it. And cessation is non-attachment, is emptiness. And when this happens, when we recognize this, and we will experience peacefulness. And in order for us to see things clearly, to be present with what is, to accept life as it is, accept who we are, we live our lives according to the Eightfold Path, or the Fourth Noble Truth, which we will cover next month. I think next month's going to be April 2nd. Just one last thing. We don't just have desires. We have all kinds of things or issue in our conscious mind or unconscious mind. That is something that I want to stress for you guys to be aware of, that especially for those who experience trauma. And if you're not aware of it or not open to it, most of your traumatic experiences have been suppressed into your unconscious mind. So it's not just desire, your past experiences, be it happy or traumatic, they stay in your unconscious mind. And it's through meditation that you'll be able to purge it, to bring all those experiences from the unconscious mind to the conscious mind, and that you must be open and willing to sit through this process. It's also important to know the window of tolerance and be mindful, just so that you're not being re-traumatized. With that, I will lead to a short meditation. And tonight, I like to do the gratitude practice, and I'll explain it or guide you guys through as we meditate. So let's get started. Let's take a few deep breaths. At the beginning, as you take some deep breaths, you can breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And you'll notice that your body may tense up when you breathe in, because your body takes an amount of effort and energy to fill your lungs with air. But when you breathe out, it takes no effort, and that's how you relax your body. So pay attention, or being aware of your breath, the in-breath and the out-breath, and try to relax your body as you breathe out. Let go of your thoughts, let go of your thinking mind, your worry, your fear. Put aside any planning and be 100% present with the breath. In, out, relax. When you are done, breathe normally through your nose. Allow your body to settle. Start with a smile. Notice how you feel when you intentionally smile. How that feeling gives rise to the physiological sensations in your body. And know that the feeling, the sensations are quickly fading away. How you feel next depends on your mind, your body, or both, or what you do next. Let's ground your awareness in the breath. Let's start with the sense door practice by first noticing your environment or the space around you, the room temperature. Check in with your mind, see how busy it is or restless, wandering around, or both. Perhaps your mind is reactive, judging, storytelling. And know that your mind can affect your feeling, your emotion, your mood, your attitude, your perception, and your view. Then your sense of seeing, noticing light or color, whether your eyes are open or closed. Your sense of hearing, know that you cannot turn off your hearing consciousness. Your sense of smell, your sense of taste. These four senses, as you're meditating and not reacting to anything, are at rest. Then your sense of touch in the body, just being aware of sensation or tension or physical pain that is constantly taking place and changing in your body. The sensual practice helps you to stay grounded and centered no matter where you are, so you don't easily get distracted or feel overwhelmed when you're being triggered. So stay with the breath, notice your senses. You are living in the present moment. Let's move on and practice concentration by just bringing your attention to your breath. All you have to do is being aware or present with your in-breath and out-breath. You don't have to closely follow the breath. That could be stressful for some. Just relaxed. As you breathe in, know that you are breathing in. As you breathe out, know that you are breathing out. And that's your focus. Concentration means that if thoughts come up, you're not distracted by your thoughts or sound or noise that you hear. But when you are distracted or lost in thoughts, then mindfulness comes in. It brings the mind back to the breath. They work together. You actually cultivate mindfulness and concentration. If your mind is too active, wandering around, then you can use a mantra or prayer, but ground your awareness in the breath. Meaning, when your mind wanders away, bring it back to the breath. In breath, out breath. Try to smile to make it interesting for your mind to stay with the breath longer. You may notice your desire comes up. Let it go. Accept it as it is and let it go. Or if someone that you worry about also appears in your conscious mind, let it go. Stay with the breath. Do not follow your thoughts like a puppy. Just being present with the breath. Let's move on with gratitude. The Buddha said there are two types of people that are hard to find. One is doing the kindness, the other is grateful for the kindness done. There's a difference between gratitude and appreciation. Gratitude is someone who goes out of their way to help you, to do everything for you without any expectation. Appreciation refers to someone who is doing something extra as part of their job. That's the difference. So as you reflect into your life or your past up until now, with the people that you have known, who have supported you one by one, offer your gratitude. You can start with your parents who gave birth to you and raised you, and offer your gratitude. I'm grateful for my parents who gave birth to me, who raised me. For that I'm grateful. Or if you were raised by your grandparents or relatives or certain caregivers, you can also offer your gratitude. Notice how you feel when you quietly express gratitude. Then you can continue as you grew up, continue with the teachers in preschool, kindergarten, elementary, junior high, and high school, college. I'm grateful for my teachers who taught me the knowledge that I know as of today. That has helped me throughout my life, my career, my relationships, my job. For that I'm grateful. Then you can offer your gratitude to your spouse, if you have it, your children, your siblings, your relatives, or friends who have supported you throughout all these years and did not expect anything from you. Then as you grew up, you explore religion or spirituality. Then offer your gratitude to your religious teachers or spiritual teachers. I'm grateful for my spiritual teacher or religious teacher who has guided me on this path, ensuring that I make progress, that I succeed. For that I'm grateful. Again, notice how you feel. Allow your heart to open. Feel that tenderness, that your heart is filled with gratitude, with kindness and compassion. You can then offer your gratitude to new friends or strangers who went out of their way to also help you. And lastly, if you experienced or if you knew a difficult person or few people who made your life difficult, and if you are willing, you can express your gratitude. I'm grateful for so-and-so who made my life difficult, who made me realize that I need to work on my anger, or frustration, that I need to cultivate patience and compassion for myself. For that, I'm grateful. If you're not able to do that, it's okay. Come back and offer yourself gratitude. I'm grateful that I'm still able to learn and grow mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. For that, I'm grateful. Let's sit in silence for the next few minutes and continue to practice gratitude. Let's check in with your mind again, see how settled perhaps it is. Less wandering, less judging, less chattering or storytelling. See how your mind can affect your feeling, your emotion, your mood, your attitude, your perception, your view. Check in with your body, your posture, and the qualities of mindfulness, concentration, patience, kindness, compassion, and the gratitude practice that you just did. With that, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable De Hong. We have 92 meditators on Insight Timer. Are there any questions and comments from either Insight Timer, from our other platforms, YouTube or Facebook? Any comments? Any questions?
Just a quick note on gratitude as we are waiting for your questions. I did the gratitude practice in the prison today, in the men's prison, which is a level 3 at Lancaster. And when I get to the point where, I said, grateful for the difficult person who made your life miserable. One of the guy, he was cut off guy. He was like, huh? Like, I'm suffering and you are telling me to offer my gratitude? But then he realized that he said that he was very annoyed by one person, and that when I said to offer your gratitude to that person, and that you know that you need to work on your anger and cultivate patience and compassion, it really made him realize that he really need to do it, and he did it, and he was so happy after. Quite a few people actually. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I came up with that, a couple of years ago. I don't know if anyone did.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the past, you offer a stepping stone, which is that we start with forgiveness and then we go to gratitude. But you jump all the way to gratitude, that's a big
Yeah.
step.
Correct. I mean,
It's hard for us to do that.
some people, there are people who may not be ready, but with practice, when you realize that when you get angry, when you still hold on to resentment and anger, you actually are the one that suffers. So by recognizing that, by working on your anger, by cultivating patience and compassion, you actually can move to the point where you can be grateful for that person because hey, now you are free.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, hmm. Yeah, I mean it's basically lifting a weight, whereas
Hmm.
you are the weight. It's just that heavy burden on yourself.
Yeah.
So
In the mind, in the heart, and also in the body.
it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah.
That's why it's called practice. Um,
Correct.
Actually, I don't. I wish I had talked to you about this before the class, but it's actually something. A piece of news came up a couple of days ago, and I thought it would be relevant for today because we talk about Buddhist psychology and
Hmm.
therapy and all that. So not sure if anyone is familiar. There is a practice called Vipassana.
Hmm.
There's an organization that runs a 10-day Vipassana meditation. It's a very rigorous. I've been to it many times.
Yeah.
It's actually 12 days. Arrival and departure is two separate days, so you get 10 days of really rigorous training. It's 12
Hmm.
hours, almost 12 hours, basically meditate all day. And then the meditation is just all sitting meditation, usually no
Hmm.
dinner, no talking, all that. So they have about uh, 200 facilities, locations around the world, three in California and one in British Columbia,
Yeah.
Canada. The one in British Columbia I actually know. I went there once as a volunteer, and it just came out that a young lady was attending, and I think either on the 8th day or the 9th day she left on her own. She was not supposed to have keys to the car, but either she had another set or whatever, and she ended up missing, and they found her dead. That she actually had killed herself. So
Hmm.
I think we're going to get a lot of scrutiny about meditations and how let me just share the article. You can it's easy to find it.
Hmm.
Just look for unfortunately just look for Vipassana suicide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that,
Oh,
that's how
okay.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I found the article.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah. Hmm.
okay, unfortunately, on Insight Timer you cannot see it. um, on Insight Timer, for some reason, I cannot post the article on Insight Timer. But in any case, so this facility, BDS, Dharma. Okay, that might be no. It's not. It's not the one in Washington D.C. Washington State. It's the one in. Unless I could be wrong, but I thought it was the one in British Columbia, the one in Merritt. Merritt. But I don't mean to bring that up as I don't have any reason to bring that up other than to say that I suspect there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on the Buddhist practice as a therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just reality.
Yeah, I mean, this is what trauma is, right? Because
Yeah.
with people with trauma, they need to be guided. They need to have therapy. They need to talk about it before they dive into a 10-day retreat.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've been there. I've been to that center, that kind of centers many times, and the only thing I can say is that the staff is not very well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
They themselves are basically learning, so it's really the blind leading the blind. But in any case, I just thought that. So people on Insight Timer, you might want to just search for that. Anyway, there's a comment. Elma says, "Thank you so much. The gratitude meditation made me realize, as hard as it is, I appreciate losing people. Losing people I love, as it brings me closer to understanding how precious and short life is, and mortality is okay. Even though I miss them, they are in my heart." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, we have some time. I like to maybe just, we don't have to, maybe 5 minutes, discuss how your practice, especially both either the gratitude practice or the loving kindness practice,
Mm-hmm.
how that works in prisons.
Okay, let's start with the gratitude because we just did it, so it's related to what we are talking about today. Um, the practice of gratitude helps soften, like help fill our heart with love and this warm feeling. And also we take things for granted. We take people for granted. So by practicing gratitude, we are able to treasure and spend more time with the people who care about us, who did everything for us. So this way, if we were to lose someone, we don't have to live in regret because we have been there for them the whole time. And the thing is with gratitude, these are the people, just like Danny Bhikkhu said, he said, our parents, they didn't have to give birth to us, but they did. They didn't have to raise us, but they did. 18 years in America, 18 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
The time, the effort, the sacrifice that they did to raise a child in America, it is very, very, very expensive. And sometimes, as we grow up, because America, we don't talk about filial piety as opposed to in the Eastern or Asian countries. So, we take it for granted that, hey, I'm 18 years old, I'm an adult, I'm going, I'm done. And that is something that it can lead to a lot of regret later in life, and that we need to realize that just so that we can at least pay back a little. Even Dr. Gabor Mate said that too in his book The Myth of Normal, that we complain about taking care of our parents, but did we ever think about the countless nights that our parents, especially our mom, spent, waking up, staying up all night to care for us after we were born or when we were sick as a kid? That's why I emphasize the practice of gratitude. And this is only one aspect of, of the gratitude practice.
Yeah, yeah. I think technology has changed our way of life also. I, you know, I when I, I've been around long enough to, I was probably one of the first guy that got an email address because I was at university, and internet wasn't called internet yet. It was called ARPANET. So it was only for those who have government contract in the university that was able to get a email address. And my wife was just saying that, oh yeah, I remember we were in Europe and you had this thing called the email and you were able to communicate with your friend who was another. I said, yeah, that wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago. You know, things really changed.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing that I regret is that as technology change and as we get more what is called the social media, we don't have that much opportunity to show our appreciation and acceptance to those who are not like us,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe we have disagreement with. You know, it used to be that when I look back, I mean, several decades ago, um, everybody's different, and we can have a conversation with people who are different from you.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And you know, again, being a technologist, you know, I remember when Facebook first came out, and they have a like button, but they don't have a dislike button.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody make fun of them. You know, like I was working on technology, and I said, "Wow, that's crazy." You know, because everybody else have like and dislike. And Facebook, the genius is that they have only a like button. They did that for purpose. And they did that so that if you don't like someone,
Mm-hmm.
leave,
Yeah.
form another group. You know, so over time we become these silos of people, and it's very hard for us to communicate and show appreciation and gratitude and forgiveness to those who might not even like us.
Yeah.
It doesn't like me because of who I am, you know, my race, my language, my whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost that ability. But I think so when we talk about gratitude, that's why it's so difficult to actually show gratitude to someone who has even, you know, make you suffer and actually hurt you. That is so difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, that's a big jump. Just even show gratitude to a Republican is hard for me.
Let's not go there.
All right. Okay, so Yvonne says, thank you so much for that. I care for my parents. It was tough, but I would have not had it any other way. No, I agree. I agree. I lost my father 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very tough. And my in-laws as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay, so maybe we should call it a night. Thank you for 108 meditators now. So thank you for all that, and I will make sure that I would, as soon as we're done here, I register for the next month. So I won't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah. April 2nd.
April 2nd. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Yeah, and someone says, I was a caretaker for my father and currently for my mother. It has been a great joy. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Let me turn off the, let me do this. I have to turn on one platform at a time. Let me turn off the Insight Timer.